Hey everybody, this is Mike with Birdman Gaming, and we are at the end of this series. We are going through what I've got currently built. Now there will wind up being more decks eventually, and we'll do more videos on them. And we are at my bling, my complete bling deck. Well, it's not completely blinged out yet, but I'm working on it. This is my baby. This is where most of my trades are going to right now to pick up foils, extended foils, and prettiness for this deck. I have yet to actually get a showcase foil Omnath, but I'm working on it. The Most of the deck is foiled, so prepare to put on your shades. This is also the deck that I play the most. I need to replace that sleeve that Omnath is in because it's got the sleeve itself has a little bit of a ding on it, but the card itself is crispy, and as you can see, perfect fit hards. These are my go-to inner sleeve, as you can see, that's got strength to it. These help with the foil curl that everybody seems to have a problem with. I don't, and I live on the Gulf Coast with high humidity every day. In my comic books, I've got the silica packs from electronics or whatever. I've got those in my short boxes. However, with this, I just perfect fit hearts. And then Dragon Shields, Tiny Bones was in Eclipse sleeves. So, but before I get into going through Omnath, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you again, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing with these videos. Let me know what you think of this deck. It's silly. I don't play CEDH. I don't play super competitive. I have fun because it's a game. You're supposed to have fun with it. This deck can go off. It can combo really, really quickly. So, but I try not to do that unless the game drags on. The other day, last time I was out, which was in December, I played a game that was dragging into an hour and a half, and I'm like, okay, I'll just combo off now. And I did, and I won. This is the life counter I use. It was given out at Gen Con 2018 at the Ultra Pro booth, or you could get them at one of the anniversary qualifiers. I actually played in the anniversary qualifier and got them. And I use them for this, specifically for this deck. I'll sometimes bust them out for another deck, but this is my baby. So, Fibblethip always says hi. And he sits in the deck box with Azusa and Omnath. Because landfall. We're going to go through our lands. And again, prepare for the light shining blindness off the foils and everything. And we're going to start with the foil basics. Omnath is kind of silly. When he enters, you draw a card. He's a 4/4 for a blue, white, green, and a red. He has landfall. Whenever your first land enters under your control, you gain 4 life. Whenever the second land enters under your control that in one turn, you gain 1 of each of those mana. And if it's the third turn, you deal 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. Solid, dumb dude. So, like I said, we're going to start with our basic lands this time. We have 1 plains. I'm going to eventually get unified basics. Probably all in foil. Probably all from Infinity. So, 3 mountains. 3 islands. 3 forests. We are mainly green, so we're playing 4-color green here. My land base is pretty much what I like for this deck. Eventually it'll be completely teched out, but slowly but surely it's getting there. Now we're going to go through my non-basics. First is going to be the lands that we can use for fetching. So we've got a Prismatic Vista. We have a nice pretty foily Wooded Foothills. We've got an extended foil Arid Mesa. Very pretty. We've got one of our promo foil Fabled Passage. We've got a Expedition foil Windswept. We've got an Expedition foil Scalding Tarn. If you watch the Zendikar Rising collector's pack I opened here on the channel last summer, this is that Scalding Tarn that I opened. We've got a Expedition foil Misty Rainforest. We have a promo foil Breeding Pool. Non-foil Sacred Foundry. Non-foil Stomping Ground. Non-foil Hallowed Fountain. Then we've got our foil Snow Duels. 1, 2, 3. We've got, it looks like, if I remember right, 5 of the 6 that I can run. And then we run into Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Valakut, it can win games. It's silly. It enters tapped. It is not legendary. Whenever a mountain enters the battlefield under my control, if I control at least 5 other mountains, I may have Valakut deal 3 to target creature or player. And it taps for a red mountain. But what's better than 1 Valakut in EDH? When you can run 3 of them. Thespian Stage and Vesuva allows that. All 3 are nice and shiny. Then we have a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. Everything's also a forest in addition to its other types. Like I said, we are heavy green, so Yavimaya does help quite a bit. Horizon Canopy, because why not? Late game, it's card draw. Terrain Generator. This one's hard for me to find a foil, but it just lets me play additional land. Granted, it has to be a basic, but I can't complain. Wasteland, because land destruction, and I like Mark Poole's art style. Dryad Arbor, it's a forest, but it's also a dude. Command Beacon. Mana Confluence. This is the buy a box from Zendikar Rising. No, Commander Legends. I pre-ordered a box months before the set was spoiled. And my LGS charged me a specific amount. And then when the set got a lot closer to being dropped, I was locked in at that amount, but prices were a lot higher by then. So I'm not going to say the amount. So Riverglide Pathway is my last non-basic land. Okay. Now, the rest of this deck is not in any discernible order. It's just cards. There are foils and non-foils, but a lot of foils. So we will start off with this stack. Foil Skyclave Relic, because you always want a little bit of mana fixing. If you can get multiple, if you late game, you can get multiple lands. I mean, multiple of these, and just have a lot of mana rocks just in case there's land destruction. Cultivate, because being able to ramp is good. Livecrafter's Bestiary. Scrying and extra card draw is always a good thing. This is the Magic Fest Foil Sol Ring. So pretty. Double Masters Foil Expedition Map. I want the box topper, but I'm fine with this one. Phyleth, because I do have some basics here, and getting dudes is always a good thing. Mystic Reflection. This combos in several spots in the deck, including a Avenger of Zendikar. Negate. Counter target non-creature. Teferi Time Raveler. I don't know if I'm going to keep him or not, honestly. He's a great card, but I don't know. I haven't decided yet. The Arcane Signet from the Secret Layers that I opened last year, and it is edge foil. It's absolutely gorgeous. And if you look, you've got a Mox Jet, Mox Ruby, Mox Pearl, Mox Sapphire, Mox Emerald. That's all the Moxen on the art. Progenitor Mimic. This card's stupid. This card probably should never have been printed. I'm not going to complain about it because it is a win condition. So you clone, say, a Terror of the Peaks. So the other Terror automatically triggers when this one enters and deals 5 points. Then, at the beginning of your upkeep, you get another Terror, which deals 5 per other Terror on the field. And so on and so on and so on. They can win games real quick. Lotus Cobra, because ramp. Chromatic Orrery. I do use this in the deck for card draw. Pay 5, draw 4 is always a good thing. Ancient Green Warden allows me to play lands from my yard and doubles my landfall triggers. Growth Spiral allows me to play an additional land or put a land card from my hand on the battlefield, plus it's a card draw. Chromatic Lantern, because having all my colors is always a good thing. A lot of people make a mistake with this card, though. It says your the lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any mana to your mana pool. And it also taps from 1 mana of any color. It doesn't say your lands are all basic land types. You need a Dryad of Elysian Grove or a Prismatic Omen for that. Those are both in this deck. They help with the Valakut deal. Solemn Simulacrum, because ramping up in card draw is good. Path to Exile. Exile target creature, its controller searches its library for a basic land, puts it into play tapped. Commander's Fear from the Dungeons and Dragons Secret Lair. Mana fixing plus card draw. Girapur Orrery. A lot of people underestimate this card. It is group huggy. Each player may play an additional land on each of their turns. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, they draw 3 during their upkeep. Then they get their normal card draw. I'm ramping so hard that I sometimes run out of cards, and I need that hand refill. Lithoform Engine, another card that's kind of undervalued. It allows you to copy activated or triggered abilities. It lets you copy instants or sorceries. It lets you copy permanent spells on the stack of your own. So, Swords to Plowshares, more removal. Land tax. Now, funny story with this. I bought, when I first started getting my Social Security, I bought a Double Masters VIP pack. My box toppers were not great. I got a Urza Land and I think a Goblin Guide. Or a Meddling Mage. One of those. I got rid of them while they were still high. So. But this was one of my 2 foils. My 2 foil rares. So, it made up for it in the long run. I may or may not leave this in the deck. It's a great card, though. Confounding Conundrum, another card that people don't even look at. When it enters, you draw a card. It shuts down your opponent's fetch lands if they want to immediately crack one. It shuts down the Girapur Orrery for your opponents. So, it's actually really, really good. Sylvan's Crying lets you search for a land, reveal it, put it in your hand. Next stack. Cathar's Crusade. I'm looking for a foil one of these right now, actually. Harder and harder to find. They are from, I think, Innistrad, the original Innistrad block. It's really good with the way I've got this built right now. Scoot Swarm and this is just stupid. Avenger of Zendikar, another card that's stupid with Cathar's Crusade. Knight of the Reliquary. When you have a Dryad or a Prismatic Omen in this, you search out your land combo real quick. Speaking of Prismatic Omen, Worldly Tutor. This, it was one of the cards that I actually purchased for this deck. When they first announced the Commander Collection Green, I ordered this from one of the vendors I deal with regularly, which happens to be, and we are not sponsored by them, but it is Cool Stuff Inc. They had this at $40. I knew it was worth more, so I had to buy it. For a foil, that's a real good value. I always recommend checking them out after you're done looking through TCG Player, especially if you play other games as well. I've volunteered for them over the years at Gen Con until I just couldn't anymore because my leg. I started doing business with them in, I want to say 2003, it might have been 2004, at either my first or second Gen Con. They've always been good people to me. If you go to Gen Con, stop by their booth, They hand out blue cloth bags for you to put your purchases from the dealer hall in. And they don't ask for anything for the bags. They're good people. So, oh look, it's a Terror of the Peaks. He dumb. Eternal Witness, because you want to get your stuff back from the yard. Right of Replication, because having 5 Terror of the Peaks enter is terrifying. Seagate Registration. I'm torn if I want to keep this or not in the deck. I mean, it could be just a land, or it's card draw. Sylvan Carded, Hexproof, and Mana Fixing. Panharmonicon with Avenger or Phylath is stupid. Double Major, because clones. Ramunap Excavator lets me play lands from my yard. Clever Impersonator, because clones. Cyclonic Rift, because, yes, I want to be that guy sometimes. Impact Tremors, because I've got dudes. Ashaya, because lands. Opt, because card draw is always a good thing. Replicating Ring for the Mana Ramp, or Mana Rock. Inscription of Insight for, as you can see, all the things. Usually it's going to be scry 2, draw 2, and either bounce or get a token. Because I usually have enough mana to kick. Cultivator Colossus is the newest edition. I have not played with him yet. But, as you can see, stupid. Exploration. Additional land drops are good in this deck. Bloom Tinder is a recent addition from the Secret Lair. That lets me tap for 4 if I have Omnath in play. And our last stack. And we are running a relatively decent amount of time on this video. So, we have our Scoot Swarm. Again, this is a landfall deck. We're going to have a lot of dudes entering with this, and with Impact Tremors and Terror of the Peaks, it winds up being game winning without even needing to attack. Cathar's Crusade just makes attacking dumb. Extended foil Soul Talisman, because Soul Rings are always good. Venser. This is a foil signed Venser. I like it. I don't know if it's going to stick in the deck or not, but I do like it because it is a counterspell, essentially. And with Panharmonicon, you bounce him and bounce the spell. So you always have counter. Crucible. 3 visits. I opened this out of a collector's pack. Extended foil 3 visits. Beautiful card. Has a ton of upside when it comes to value, just because in my area, not a lot of them were opened. So, this is the Secret Lair Sketch Brainstorm. Crop Rotation. I want to get the box topper of this. It's like $19. It might be cheaper now. I haven't looked at it in a while. But it's part of this deck. I'd love to have an OG foil, but those things are stupid expensive, and I'm not going to even trade for it. So, oh look, it's the Secret Lair Dryad of Elysian Groves that I opened last month. Lands I control have every basic land type, and I get an additional land drop each turn. It's a bird. Long story about birds of paradise and me. I will not get into that this video. Stay tuned for the Gen Con 2023 videos next year, because we will be discussing this card at length. And we are going to be trying to record a documentary concerning Gen Con, Birds of Paradise, and myself. Currently, we are working with several people that are going to be going to the convention with me, and we are hopefully going to have people helping with, recording, doing basically everything that I can, Sky Shroud Claim lets me search for 2 forests. The funny thing about that is they can be shocklands, or snow duels, or a dryad arbor. Explore, play an additional land, draw a card. Feldar Retreat. Another card. It's going to stay in the deck just because it combos real well with what I do. And it's silly. Time Stream Navigator is another one of those that's going to wind up staying in the deck. I've been able to get so many turns off of this in basically one turn that it's ridiculous. Sublime Epiphany. Bounce, clone, draw a card, counter a spell, counter an ability. And that's our Omnath. The Nom 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 Nom. The deck is super fun to play. I can't say it's fun to play against, but it's super fun to play. Anyway. Next week is pre-release. I'm going to try and record my pre-release kit. And I'm thinking if the shop still has some double feature, Innistrad double feature packs, I may pick up 1 or 2 and do a video of those as well. Just because it's a unique product. I'm hoping that I do well at the pre-release. Either way it goes, though, I'm going to have fun. I will get to see some of my friends. I will, of course, get to play Magic. I'll get to play some Commander. I have a friend who will more than likely also be playing for me, so I have 2 chances to win some prize support. He said he'll play for me. He just wants to play the game. He doesn't care about collecting. He just plays online, but he wants some cardboard in his hands. So I told him, as long as finances are looking okay, I'll pay for him, and he could just give me what he opens, and if he wins any prize support. So that's that. I'll probably do a secondary video over what he opened when I get back home, or the next week or whatever. We will also hopefully be picking up some bundles, maybe some collector's packs, and just do the month that way. I'm not going to buy a box. I'm not going to spend a lot on the set. It looks cool, but there so far from what I've seen, there's not a lot of stuff. Now I'm shooting this way before spoiler season, so but there's just I want some of the basics because I'm going to do Cardor's Basic Land Suite and the Japanese basics. So I want some of those. But the set itself is just, I wasn't a big Kamigawa fan in the first place. And I know I'm going to draw heat from that because there was a lot of really good commander cards. There was some game breaking cards from that, including Sensei's Dividing Top. So, I'll buy a bundle. I'll buy some set boosters and maybe a collector's booster and do it like that. And that'll be the rest of February's videos. And that'll lead up into March, where we will be taking a month off from Magic and doing the comic book thing. With all of that being said, it's a new month. And I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. I hope you guys are being kind to one another. It's been a rough time. It's been rough for me physically as well. And when I'm recording this, I'm just a couple weeks off of having a real bad fall. I'm still suffering with some side effects from that. I think I strained a tendon in my foot when I fell. So it does not feel good. And I'm in a lot more pain than what I normally am in. Which isn't saying much because I'm in a lot of pain all the time. But I want to do stuff for you guys. I want to put this content out. I want to make sure that you guys know that I'm here for you. If you guys need somebody to talk to, shoot me a message through here. If you guys know me personally, shoot me a message through the Facebook. If you found me on Twitter, shoot me a message there. I'm on multiple social media platforms. Eventually I'll have a Twitter and a Facebook specifically for the channel. I've been dealing with some stuff, so I haven't really had the motivation to create those yet. Anyway, with all of that being said, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be good to one another. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.